Hi, my name is Willoughby, and I do a program, or I don't know what we'd call it, called the Local Voter Education Program. Actually, it'd be nice if the schools would start teaching this and other people pick up on it, because that's where we're hurting. In other words, the title is just a title of what we're doing. Local voter education, by sharing information what's going on in the city. That's it. It's, and that's local voter education. And we need more people sharing local voter education. Start your own local voter education. Probably do it a lot better than me, but this is what we need to get more out there now. But I've got a court date coming up Thursday. Well, it's not a court date, it's a hearing. The attorneys from the city, they're trying to knock this out, and all I'm asking for is to redo District 5 because of the paper on the results. And the last two elections are very peculiar, and there's something wrong. There's no getting around it. The votes, total votes in District 5 and 23, well, they dropped down to 3,600. It should have been around 6,000, over 6,000 votes. It dropped by about 50%. We show what I submitted to what I filed the case on is submitting that there's a pattern you can see. We have, you can go back 4 elections, and we've done nothing but go up, up, up. The city's done nothing but grow, grow, grow. And then all of a sudden, boom, we dropped 50%. That's over our votes. Now, that's the same year in 2021. Now, mine is just down below here a little bit. My votes from 2017 up to 2025, and mine go up. And mine start off with a write-in, with 112 write-in votes, because the city rejected me from the ballot for not meeting a requirement that was not on the requirement list, which is an impossible task. But nevertheless, they rejected me for it, and it was just a matter of just updating a card. I ran in 2015 as a trial run, so I don't count it. Just seeing if I thought I could do this job, because I had respect for it. And it really was intimidating the first time I went to city council, started going down there. It's like a different world all of a sudden, you're in a different world, and it is very peculiar. But after a while, all that fades away, and then reality comes to the surface. And you see, we've got nothing but a bunch of idiots down there, self-centered. Well, I'll tell you what, I wouldn't call it, they're a disgrace to the human race, the people we have down there, are just really a disgrace to the human race. And that's when you start seeing it for what it is, then no longer the intimidation goes away. That cleared. So I know anybody that's new going down there would feel intimidated on them. It's just natural. It is a place that, I've seen people sign up to speak, they come down and they start crying. It just has that effect on you down there at that city hall. And but it'd be nice to have some people down there that we could trust, that has decency and moral values and all that. But anyway, I filed this election because the council member that I have now in District 5 is Deborah Peoples, and there's no way in God's creation does she deserve to be there at all. I mean, she's a disgrace, and she got put in because the Democrats rigged this election. It's 100% rigged in my books, and but that's what we filed this case about. We didn't. I didn't file it accusing anybody or anything. I filed it based on these numbers here. They don't add up. A accountants in for a corporation, when they go over the books, if something's wrong in the numbers, they got to go find out what it is. There's numbers that come off and stuff, and these numbers don't add up. They show a pattern and then dropping. And in my votes, from 112 write-ins, which I'm proud of that, those people took time to actually write my name in to get anybody to do anything. Now, back in 17, I still knew what's going on. I became aware pretty much of what's going on. It's made me appreciate that a whole lot more. People don't do anything nowadays. They talk, but they don't do. And that's what I want to mention real quick. If anybody knows any group that's a doing group, that's willing to get together and do something out here in our city as far as changing our system, which is what I want to talk about in just a second. That group I want to be a part of. Financially, mentally, physically, however, that's the group I want to be part of. So if anybody knows a group like that, I'd like to join it, because getting people to do anything is just almost practically impossible. So 112 votes write-in. That's impressive to me, very impressive. But 2010 went up 279 votes. 2021 up to 640 votes. You see a pattern, we're going up. 2023, 651 votes. And when I'm looking at this bottom of this page here, where my votes are on the bottom, and on the top, that's the overall for District 5, and down here at the bottom of this group again is just mine personally. And then we get to 2025, it drops to 67 votes. I don't buy it. There's something wrong. I have no indication of people calling or complaining or anything I've done to make it go wrong. So that. And Endeavor People is the one they put in. Well, Mary was more qualified for this seat than she was. Much more qualified, even though what I'm looking for in our candidates downtown are people that get involved, do their civic duty first, go to bond meetings, budget meetings like I did. I did the homework. I wanted to learn about it before I tried to take on that job. I wanted to know what was going on. Endeavor People's never been to a city council meeting. She's chucked her civic duties. She's a disgrace, a real disgrace. I mean, to be down there. And so, anyway, now what I've gotten is several pages from the attorneys. And it's funny how these attorneys, how they use the city attorneys after someone like me or you and that. But when they fired Police Chief Fitzgerald, they went to outside attorneys and spent $2 million worth of money when they fired the man. Now that just doesn't make any sense at all. Why didn't they use these attorneys here that, I mean, they're using on me? I mean, all they did was fire somebody. Are these people not capable to handle a case of someone being fired from the city? If they're incompetent and they can't handle a firing, then they don't need to be working for our city. But we know that's not the case. The whole thing was a cover-up. And it's terrible. It's just a disgrace right in front of our eyes. But anyway, what I want to move on to is that I go to court. Their whole case has been asking for proof, names, witnesses, all that. Well, everything in mine's in a nutshell right here in these numbers. There's no names, proof, any of that. The numbers don't add up. So we're asking to do a redo so that maybe we can get a clear picture of what's going wrong, because it's one of these. It's either the machines are malfunctioning, 2, the fraud. That's mine right there. I believe it's fraud. I mean, 3, people stopped voting. That one would be frightening, to drop by 50%. I hadn't got a clue. If that happened, I really don't have a clue. It would really leave me, after doing this for 13 years, I'd be kind of floored. I don't know. So I don't believe it's that one, though. I actually believe it's voter fraud with everything else that goes around it. But there's a way to narrow down and eliminate. And we do a paper ballot election in District 5 is all we're asking. It won't cost the city anything. Why are the lawyers fighting this so hard? They have sent pages and going after this. They want it knocked out, stop, don't do it. We pay for those lawyers for the city. They get their income from us. And they don't want you to have a fair election here. This was a rigged election, and I believe a paper ballot election will prove that. But, you know, I'm doing this for several reasons. One is that you shouldn't have to be an attorney, first off, to address some of these issues. Your evidence alone should be enough, and you should do it. You shouldn't have to have a legal mind and all that, you know. And we need to get down more to what's right or wrong and that kind of stuff back in our system. But nevertheless, so anyway, my whole case is right there, and that's what I'll base when I go tomorrow for the judge or whatever, if we get a hearing. I just say, well, here's the thing. We see something's wrong. This was a trail to correct it. And I didn't see another really, this is one of the pathways there might be another pathway, and I'm going to look for another. And that's another thing I'm going to bring up real quick, is that just because one thing you do doesn't succeed, too many people stop, turn around and go, and stop. You don't stop there. I don't stop there. I'm trying to get a meeting with the administrator. This has to be addressed. It has to be fixed, because regardless we have the case or not, regardless, there's a problem there, and it has to be fixed. If there's voter fraud, it needs to be exposed. And there's a lot more to that. So, and here's one of the things that I'd like to work on. It's our system. Free speech in October comes back on the agenda again. It's a shame. I mean, really, people fought, died. They know what it's like to be under a country, under a government rule that doesn't have free speech. They know how bad, it's so bad that they went out and they lost their lives. I want to try to get through people that it's our responsibility, whether you think we need free speech or not at city council or whatever, they should put back the old schedule. It's coming in October. I want you to call city council, call the mayor, tell them to put back the old schedule in October, that we want it back. And then if you want to change it with the people, okay? That's the way to do this. And that way we start taking back our city. We start taking, because it's out of control. We don't have no control over it down now. They walked over our last comment meeting. The mayor's a liar. Now, this is one thing too, canvassing the votes, and that's something I had to change out, was that, I'll put on the screen here, was at first I had voter fraud, and I changed it to, that wouldn't have been right. They're not responsible for that, but incompetence and dishonesty. And I sent in a sheet on that, and how the mayor barefaced lied about me in public. She's a liar. She's never took it back, changed it, and it was a lie. The system, we can't change it until we change the mayor. God, I wish we had a mayor. If we had a real mayor, you could take things before a real mayor, and just on merit alone, they would act, on merit alone. Because it made sense, common sense. They could share it with people, what they're doing in that, but on merit, it'd get passed. And one thing we need to do to our charter is we put in 2 council members. This was a scam for 5 years. What's this thing? They barely got it through. They added 2 council members on the strength of less than 1% of the city voting for this. We had 2 more council members. That's bigger government. Makes the people smaller, government bigger. This is ridiculous. And those people out here in Fort Worth, Ventura County, they call themselves Republicans. That's a bunch of hooey. Republicans are not for bigger government. Republicans are for smaller government. But did they speak up or do anything that lived here in Fort Worth to go there? None of them. And I mean, that's just shameful. None of them. And then part of the Republicans on the city council approved this, So they weren't Republicans. It's really a bunch of people, self-centered people, just a bunch of swine. I'm living in a pig pen of people, I'll tell you. But anyway, they got this, so they added 2 on 1%. Now, as far as the charter, if we want to remove a council member, it takes 20% of the registered voters in a district to sign a petition, which would come out to, in District 5, over 10,000 signatures we need. Only 2,000, a little over 2,000, and I'm saying that the numbers may not be correct. I think Deborah Peoples' numbers were padded. They were padded. And that's where my 600 went from mine. It put them on hers, and it took it from being a runoff in Mary, and it put her in office. It's a crooked thing. But anyway, but on the record, on paper, though, she got over 2,000, around 2,000 some odd votes, okay? And 10,000 signatures to remove her 5 times. They're well protected. Once they get in office, they're well protected. The rules have been changed by crooked people to protect themselves once they get in there, and that's what they've done. Taking it from us and putting it themselves. Took away free speech. Now, the charter needs to be mended. 100% needs to be mended. It should say, if Deborah People got elected with 2,400 votes, then on your petition, all you should have to have is 2,400 plus 1 signatures to remove, or to put it back on the ballot to remove a council member. That's all. And if we were to change that, that's possible. That's possible to do, and it'd make them be held more accountable. They'll be more answer because you could get their butts out of there. But as long as they're protected, they can sit back and stick their tongue out at you like they do me. They're like a bunch of kids down there, and I don't like it. It's a shame to see a city, this large city, being run by immature children down there that's running it. So, but these are the things that need to be addressed more than ever. Our system, the way it is, you can't fire people in the city. They make it so hard to fire them. That's ridiculous. It should be brought down to the same level as the private market. Same thing with the Democrats that just ran away from office because of this thing. The Texas Supreme Court hasn't made a ruling from what I've seen right now. By the time we put this out, there might be a ruling. But yeah, I think they should be fired. I don't care if it's Democrat, Republican, it don't matter. You run away from your office you took and go hide out, you should be fired. You sure would be in the private market, so I don't see why these people should get any more special treatment than the private market. If they don't like the way things are, then they have to do something different. But not running away, it's not the answer. So, and that's ridiculous. But, so anyway, this is kind of an update on my court date here, really, is what this is that my argument, these numbers, and regardless, at the end of the day, they need to be addressed somehow or another, one way or another. There's something wrong here. It needs to be addressed. So, we'll see. And if you know anybody that's part of a group that will let me know. I'd like to be a part of that group financially. And also, I'm looking to put up some signs out there about our free speech coming back on City Council in October. So I'm going to try to expose this more. Some big signs I'll be putting up on Highway 30, and to try to let people know it's coming up. That's a beautiful point too. Channel 4, 5, 8, and 11. Oh my God! I was trying to watch Channel 4, and I just can't watch it. Why can't they average? These channels should be announcing that on the city agenda in Fort Worth in October, your old schedule or new schedule is up for a vote. Why can't they let you know that? It's very important because the old schedule is an American schedule. The new schedule is a communist schedule. It's not American. It takes away free speech and everything else. So we want to go back to the old one. And we'd like to kick Mattie Parker's butt right out of here. I'd like to deport her somewhere outside of here. But nevertheless, not just Mattie Parker, it starts with us, above all. Regardless of all these politicians and all these people that work out there that are bad, good, whatever, inside our city, doesn't matter. It starts with the people here first, having to start taking care of their own responsibility in voting and speaking out. So